No more lag spot. All right. It is Thursday, the 11th of April, 2024. We're on the Ultimate World Cruise, and here we are at Sangen-en, which is the location of the first forge they had in, not a forge, but a furnace in Japan to make cannons out of. So that's the design of it. All that's left is the foundation, which you're going to see in a minute, but that's how they melted the ore into the cannons. Here's the foundation of that furnace. So this Sangen-en location is a manufacturing location where first they had this foundry furnace, and then they also started making ceramics using some of the same designs from the fireproof brick and stuff. And you're also going to be going on a walk through a proper Japanese garden. That's Yamada-san, the guy in the white hat. He's our tour driver and tour guide who spoke no English but was expert at using Google Translate. So he'd just talk into his phone, translate it, and then have us read it or listen to it. So this location, they started out with just the furnace for making cannons, and then they expanded it into making ceramics, and today they make some of the most beautiful glass and crystal ware that's probably made anywhere on earth. It's even better to me than Venetian glass. When I looked at it, you'll see some pictures of it coming up, and they have it for sale even to this day. So this is the entrance to the factory complex, and the homes of the owners were also in here. You had to pay extra to get into the owners' homes, which we didn't do, but this is the old entrance and used to be accessible only by sea. That tree there, the guy, I don't know if he got it right, but he said he used to get matsutake mushrooms harvested from the tree. I don't know why they would harvest them from the tree, but maybe the translation wasn't right. So this is the entrance to the housing area where the owners lived. It's such a beautiful garden, and to this day it's so well maintained. It's meticulous and just a beautiful place to walk through. Now what you see off in the distance, that volcano back there, is Sakurajima. And Sakurajima volcano is our next stop. We really only had 2 stops today. It's Sangen-en factory location, and then taking a ferry across the water over to Sakurajima. And a little bit more about Sakurajima later. We'll get to that. Now, this is the first gas light in Japan, according to our guide. Somehow there's a gas supply to that thing, and they used to light it. So it was the very first gas light in Japan. A lot of firsts here. They had the first cannon foundry, first gas light, the first generator. You're going to see the foundations for the first electric generator from 1892. So I sped up the walking here to get through it a little quicker, but you can see how beautifully manicured everything is. They brought water from kilometers away down this canal to run the water wheel that generated electricity. And the electricity was only used for the houses and the owners of this facility when it was first started in 1892. You could see Japan was well behind the rest of the Industrial Revolution because, like 1840s, 1860s, there was lots of boilers and power plants and locomotives and all kinds of stuff around the world. and here their first electricity was generated by a water wheel. There's Yamada-san again. Even though he didn't speak English, he was such a great guide. We really enjoyed his company and his explanations of things. Now, here's the foundation of the first electric generating station here, which was basically a big water wheel. And I wanted to go up on top and see what it looked like from on top. So I was able to find a way to get up there. There's a path down here. I was disappointed when I got up there because there wasn't much to see. It looked like a big water tank. I guess so all anything having to do with the power generation was gone. Basically, it's just a big tank. So I was trying to imagine how many gardeners it takes to keep this place up. I'll bet you there's at least 30 or maybe 40 gardeners. All the flowers and everything's shrubs are trimmed perfectly. Okay, there's Sakurajima in the distance there. We're going to go get a little better picture of it. So our next stop after this, after visiting Sanganen, was taking the ferry across over to Sakurajima, which erupts about every 100 years in a huge eruption. It's Japan's most active volcano, and it's been 110 years since it erupted, so it's primed again. Anyway, here's a sample of the beautiful crystal and glass that they still make and sell. That little, let's see, that little decanter right there, the blue one in the middle, that's about $1,600 for those cups and the decanter. So it's very expensive, but it's absolutely perfect and beautiful. I think this glass is even more beautiful than the Venetian glass that we have. It's different, certainly. But all of this stuff was for sale. So if you wanted to drop a few thousand, you could do that. All right, now we are up at the observatory. We've crossed over on the ferry. There's an observatory up near the top of the volcano, and that's where we are here. This is at the observatory. So the last major eruption of Sakurajima was in the last major eruption of Sakurajima was in 1914, and it was such a huge explosion. Sakurajima used to be an island, and now it's connected to the mainland because that 1914 eruption put out so many billion cubic yards or cubic meters of lava that it connected the island to the mainland, and I'll show you on a map in a minute how that happened. But it filled up a channel in the ocean that was 200 feet deep, and then connected it, welded it to the mainland. Now, so when this particular volcano erupts, it throws out these huge boulders, which is what killed most of the people. This particular lava. It's not lava, it's boulders that got thrown out, blasted out, and landed here, covered up more than 600 houses. So who knows how many people are underneath this rock field here. And there you can see
this is like
Sakurajima in the background, covered by the mountains. Covered by the clouds. You can't quite see the top, but it's always giving off smoke, and it erupts small spurts, 2 or 3 times a day normally. So here's an explanation that says they had about 3 days warning because the wells started boiling water on the island. Same as happened in 1779, but it covered up this shrine that we're at right here. So there's only a little bit of the top of the shrine sticking up. Now, on the map, if you look at the bottom, that purple section, both end top and bottom, are the lava that came out in the 1914 eruption, and you can see on the bottom how it joined it to the mainland there. And here's the top of the shrine. All you can see is the top, like 4 feet of the shrine. So there's a complete shrine underneath that. That was covered by the volcanic ash from the 1914 eruption. And then right across the street, you're going to see in a minute, they have like somewhere between 30 and 36 shelters all around the island as you drive around. So in case it erupts again, you can get under one of those shelters and not get bombed by those big, huge boulders that come out. You can just barely see the top of the shrine here. Then we're going to finish up with this view of what the shelters look like. There's something like 36 of them. And so this concludes another great adventure in Kagoshima. Our next stop after a sea day is in Tokyo. So we're planning on trying to find some electronics in Tokyo. But again, we had a terrific day in Kagoshima and Sakurajima.